What's your most ridiculous one-night stand story, NSFW? New Year's Eve, 2009. I had just been dumped by a girl I was crazy about. I was hurting and my friends knew it. The phone rings. I muster a weak hello. It is an affluent friend of mine who is throwing a party. He knows I have acquired a talent for creating ever-clear punch that is not only palatable but delectable. He wants me to make some for his party. Just a half-liter please, he insists. I don't want the party to get out of hand. I tell him I understand and will make the preparations. Little did he know, some men just want to watch the world burn. I went to the store and bought 2 liters of Everclear. For those of you who aren't familiar, it is 97% pure alcohol. I went to my laboratory and concocted the perfect mix where all 2 liters were masked in sugar and a facade of happiness. I went to the party early and gave my friend the jug. Delicious, he exclaimed. It tastes like there is nothing at all. I forced a smile. I was miserable. And what does misery love? Company? The party commenced and I found myself chatting to a girl who was pretty cute. At the same time, one of my good friends was also chatting with a good-looking girl. We decide to go into the host's room for quieter talk. At this point we have all had a few cups of the punch and are definitely feeling it. My friend and I both end up on our backs on this massive bed with the girls on top of us making out. People are around and look on with slight amusement. Things begin to get a little more heavy. I am getting hard and I begin to unbutton the girl's pants. Stop, she exclaimed. The vibe that had been building and all the sexual energy that came with it came to a screeching halt for both myself and the two beside me. I can't do this, she quietly said, still straddling me. I sat there for a moment trying to comprehend the next steps when I felt a hand coming across my thigh and grabbing my still rigid member. It was the girl who had been making out with my friend. She looked me right in the eyes and loudly declared switch. Confusion was all around, but the girl on top of me got off, walked around the bed and sat beside my friend where they began to talk and eventually kiss. I did not get to spectate this because the girl who had just been kissing my friend attacked me with the sexual savagery of a lion in heat. I don't remember how, but in the next moment I was inside of her. She was riding me like I was going to win her the Kentucky Derby. There were a few others in the room who were now a mix of shocked, appalled, and intrigued. No one left and eventually I flipped on top and began to ravage her. At this point my memory goes dark and the next thing I remember is waking up in my bed at home alone. The rest of the night was recreated for me by multiple witnesses. I am totally naked and having sex with her like she is the last woman on earth when suddenly I stop and shamble out the sentence I have to pee rather than walk into the host's master bathroom suite like a sober person would have. I am on autopilot from all the alcohol and remember the bathroom in the hall right next to the living room. I shuffled down the hall naked, surrounded by partygoers, and used the bathroom. Upon leaving I walked into the main room. It probably had 20 or so guests and I sat on his black leather couch totally naked. The guy sitting next to me asked me what I was doing and I told him having sex. Where is the girl, man? He asked me. I realized I was no longer in the bedroom, so I eloquently screamed at the top of my lungs, hey girl, I was having sex with, roughly 3 times, then fell silent. The party is quiet as we hear the sound of a blanket being dragged down the hall. In walks the girl I was having sex with, still naked, wrapped in a blanket. She dropped the blanket and mounted me again, right there in front of all to see. At one point she was bent over the couch and I was high-fiving people as they came into the party. Then I had a moment of mental clarity, booked it to the bedroom and found my phone. I called a friend and told him I was being an idiot. I missed my ex and was sad. He came and gave me a ride home. I was told a few days later that the girl was looking for my number. In a typical act of double standards, I said that any girl who acted like that was definitely too high up on my crazy scale and must have been with roughly all of the guys ever. It turns out my friend and the girl who switched from me actually hit it off and dated for a while, and she told him that I was the second guy that girl had ever slept with. I didn't drink for 2 years after that night. 10/10. You should call her back now. Looked for tree fiddy here. TL, Dr. Dude needs to fix a fire hydrant. Ends up babysitting a group of baby owls. That would have been such a cooler story. The girl I planned to have a one-night stand with went home with another guy. He got the clap from her. I should send him a thank you card. Thanks for banging that dirty bitch and getting the clap and not me. Signed with love, Aaron. I was at my best friend's house for a party and got absolutely bombed. I guess instead of staying there I wanted to leave, so I set my sights on Mike the firefighter. These are literally the only two things I know about this guy. Long story short, I lost my shoes, got carried out by Mike the firefighter, had sex on the floor of the fucking fire station, walk of shame glory past the fire trucks, went home and barfed. And barfed. It went from glory to shame. About here. Did you make it to the toilet when you puked? I met this girl on Craigslist once who sent me a message after posting an ad for an older woman. She was around 45 when I was 20. We couldn't go to either of our homes, so we went to the local community college, where I worked, and used one of the employee restrooms. It was at night, so there was no one in that office. It was open for night classes. Anyways, we were having sex from behind. No condom. She kept asking me, is it tight enough for you? Of course I said yes. Then she pulls out my penis and puts it in her ass. I didn't resist, but after about a minute more I finished. I pulled out my penis and it was covered in blood. I had to wash it off in the sink. I get it. At 20 you think you are immortal, but seriously use condoms every time. Ha ha ha, every part of this story is so awkward. I love it. I had met this girl at college and she seemed pretty interesting and cute, so I invited her out to a party. Long story short, we started making out and I quickly relocated myself to home base. Things were going great until I started to climax and she decided to turn kinky. She punched me right in the balls. I still came despite the shooting pain and she got off and started to fall asleep. I still can't believe that it happened and I avoid her any chance I get. Fucking Cosmo probably told her that was a good idea. About 7 years ago, I was at a bar, alone, just starting to feel my buzz when I saw a pretty girl. I said hi, managed not to embarrass myself enough to scare her away, and we left together. We headed downtown and got wasted. The bar's eventually close, and I take her home. Fast forward about 1 year, maybe a bit less. She moves into my house. I had always been very minimally furnished in my home, and my bedroom contained only a box spring and mattress on the floor and a dresser. That girl's now my wife, and we had to move the bed against the wall because she only brought one nightstand. Ha, ha ha ha, ha, ha ha, fuck, give this man a slow clap. From what I've been told, Here We Go was a broke university student trying to get drunk on a Saturday night. So I bought myself a $9 bottle of sake. Once we got back to the dorms I challenged anyone to beat me at beer pong. If I lost, I promised to chug the entire bottle. We play 3 games. Everything is going well, but it had to come to an end at some point and I lost the 4th game. Man of my word, I downed the bottle, cold, and proceeded with partying. I lost all recollection about 30 minutes later, I'd say. Friends tell me that an hour after that I got naked, mild, didn't sink a cup, and ran up and down the hall in front of 60 or so people. Later made a quick pit stop to the bathroom for a good old-fashioned power puke when this girl that was interested in me at the time came in to help me out. I personally don't like it when I'm helped in these types of scenarios. It's my mess, I'll deal with it myself cause I'm a grown-ass man, and so I attempted to push her off of me. She slips on the wet floor and hits her head on the top of the toilet. I wake up the next morning, she is in my bed. Did we have sex? She answered with no, but you pushed me while I was trying to help you off the toilet. I apologize literally 1 million times. She actually had the bruise and everything on her forehead. Still mourning, still laying there. We have sex. This also happened to be when I lost my virginity. TL semicolon doctor I chugged sake, ran around naked, puked, gave a girl a bruise and she had sex with me in the morning. Sake. D. I used to like it, you know, casually sipping it warm as it should. She seems like a keeper. Did you keep her? I did not. Commitment issues on my behalf. It was right after graduation, and about a month before I reported for basic. One of my buddies decided to throw me a going away party at his grandpa's house. It was perfect, wet bar, pool, hot tub, extra bedrooms, the works. He invited 4 girls over, 3 for me to meet and his girlfriend. I found one very attractive, and I tried to work my magic on her. For some reason though, she wouldn't drink. I kept drinking, and apparently drunk me wasn't a very good flirt. She didn't respond to my game at all, and went to light up a joint. Obviously, I couldn't join her, so I just smoked a cigar. I was getting upset at how the night was going, so I drank some more and went inside to watch TV. After about an hour later, everyone was going to sleep. I got out of my chair and went to go to my bedroom. Lo and behold, she jumps up in front of me and goes into the room. She hops in the bed, takes the largest, softest pillow, and puts it in the middle of the bed. She said no cuddling, and promptly went to sleep. TL semicolon doctor no cuddling.